All right, so let's talk about password concepts, and I'm pretty sure that most of the content in this lesson you are already aware of, but let's just think of this as like a refresher, okay? So improper credential management continues to be one of the most fruitful vectors for network attacks. So a password best practices policy would instruct users on choosing and maintaining passwords. And speaking of this best practices policy, to supplement best practice awareness, a system-enforced account policies can help to enforce credential management principles by stipulating requirements for user-selected passwords. So basically, we're not going to allow our users to just choose their own password and create any kind of password that they want. No, we're going to make sure that they create strong passwords by enforcing it in account principles and account policies. We're going to have this credential management policy where it may say the usual, okay, your password must be at least 10 characters in length, must have a capital letter, this and that, this and that, this and that. So if the password being created by the user doesn't satisfy those requirements, they will not be able to create an account. So we can make sure that the users actually create strong passwords through the use of the system enforced account policies. So here are just a few of the typical password policy settings that I'm pretty sure you are already aware of. Password length, password complexity, where you can have like a symbol, a capital letter, a number, and so on. And then password agent, where it will force the user to select a new password after a set period, typically 3 months, 6 months, something like that. And then password reuse and history, obviously preventing the user from being able to reuse a password that has been created already. However, under the most recent guidance issued by the NIST, which was a little bit surprising, complexity rules should not be enforced, and the only restriction should be to block common passwords, which is kind of interesting. I think the reason why the NIST, put this out there is because when you begin to enforce complexity rules on passwords, it becomes a lot easier for the users to actually forget the password because, you have a number, you have a symbol, you have a capital letter. It's easy for them to forget. The people, there's a lot of things to think about these days. So agent policies should not be enforced. Users should be able to select if and when a password should be changed, which again, I guess it all depends. I mean, if a password is very, very, very strong already, is there a particular reason why it needs to be changed after a period of time? There's an argument to be made against that. So password hints should not be used. This one is, of course, very, very, very common. Make sure you don't provide password hints like my date of birth or my mother's name or something like that. That can give whoever is trying to hack into your account an easy way of identifying what your password is. So password managers, now these are used to mitigate poor credential management practices that are hard to control. I'm pretty sure you're already aware of these password managers like, LearnDash. I'm sorry, not LearnDash, Dashlane, do excuse me, Dashlane, LastPass. These are just some examples of the kinds of password managers that we do have out there. I'm pretty sure you've heard of them before. So the main risk involved will be selection of a weak master password or a compromise of the vendor's cloud storage or systems, as well as the impersonation attacks designed to trick the manager into filling a password to a spoofed site. This is some of the concerns of using password managers. Now, on a personal note, I don't use password managers. I have my own system of creating passwords, and it's entirely up to you. If you want to use password managers, by all means, they are pretty handy. It's just that the master password needs to be very, very strong. And if for some reason that master password gets cracked, the hacker or the cyber criminal can then get access to all your passwords. So it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit dangerous to rely solely on password managers. But that's it for password concepts. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next class.